remember sitting in my home studio at the time, and I was like, I can't. The nerve. She think I forgot. She think I'm, with moving from here to there and back and forth and this and that and the third. And she think I forgot. Now you're gonna ask me to be my friend? Oh, you crazy? You literally bumped your head. And the Holy Spirit said to me, if you don't forgive her, I can't forgive you.
Come on now.
I was like, what? If you don't forgive her, I can't forgive. I'm bound by my word. I love you. I love you so much. But I'm bound by my word. I exalt my word above my name. And my word says that if you don't forgive, then I can't. So I was like, well, what do you want me to do? And he was like, write her a letter. Like, really? I can't just say, maybe I forgive her, I release her, I let her go. No, I want you to acknowledge this. I want you to open your Facebook back up and write her a letter. I did it, and when I typed her name, I could not see the computer in front of my face because I was crying so much. It was unreal. The washing that was happening in my heart by me letting her know, listen, I have held aught against you since I was a kid. And I had not seen your face, heard your name or whatever until I was watching this DVD. And God used that to reveal to me that I was harboring bitterness against you. Now it wasn't unforgiveness. Now it's moved into this whole bitterness thing because my whole countenance just like, ooh, if I see her in the street, I promise you, I'll probably roll her over with the car. And nobody would know that about me because everything seemed okay. But God has a way of touching those things that are in the back, and He will tap that little nerve.
Very well.
You'll be like,
come now, on, did she respond back to you after you wrote the letter?
She did.
Okay.
And actually, I told her she didn't need to. It's like, you don't have to respond. It's okay. And she just said, thank you.
Thank
you so much. That was it.
Okay.
And I'm like, you ain't going to be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I did this. And, oh my gosh, nothing.
Like, you ain't going to be. And
that was a further test for you too, because you didn't even get bitter at that.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
and
you let that go.
Point, because I could have been. And it's like, and then a couple of years ago, I remember seeing that she had followed me on Instagram, and here, full circle, and when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's cool. It was water on a duck's back.
Come on now.
Didn't even affect me. But that's because I had been exercised in it, So
I think people know when they're delivered, it's because like you can talk about it today. Sometimes people, if you say anything, but when you're delivered, it's a testimony. And you can now share it freely. Yeah.
I mean, don't call that name in this house. We do not call. I think parents did that. There was a lot of us lived in spaces that we were trained how to walk in unforgiveness.
That's true. And you take it as adults. I'm telling you.
Take it everywhere. Oh my gosh, this is so good. I'm going to pivot a little bit in this conversation. Talk to you about something that I'm really excited to talk to you about. You are, we talked about it earlier, a strong woman. We live in this whole, the independent woman thing, and I don't need a man, and blah, 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 whatever. And I have thoughts about that, which we'll get to later on in life, maybe. But as a strong woman, was it difficult for you to lead when you were single, to lead the church?
As a strong woman, was it difficult?
Well, that's the first part of the question. The second question is, as a strong woman, is it now difficult? What are there challenges in you submitting your strength in your marriage?
Oh, good. That's a great question. So being strong for a ministry is great, actually. I think for me, it's just always knowing who you are. And I never wanted to come across like a man. I wanted to stay in my femininity, who God created me to be. And I didn't want to be anybody else but myself. So I'm not a hooper. I'm not I don't sound like a deep throat preacher. I'm just me. What you see now is what it is. And that's how I always carried myself. So that was easy because I really wanted God to be pleased with my life. And that was all. My standard was always, is that okay, God? Is this what you want, God? That's it wasn't what other people were doing. I've never been one that was in the group or the clique. As far as being married, it's different now because when you're over 50 and you get married, oh Lord, yes, over 50. And you had in your mind that once you were going to get remarried, it was only going to take you 2 years and that's it. And then you
Mm.
hit 10, and then it's like, well, okay. But having the strength and being a person who knows who they are and having accomplishments under your belt, it does change the dynamics of getting married. You're not when you're 25 is different than when you're 50. And so for me, there were some challenges, and with Robert, he is in his own right, an entrepreneur, a business guy. He does ministry. He leads men. He does travel. So he has a gamut of things that he does. And so when we came together, it really wasn't a romantic type of thing at first. It was just a friendship.
Hmm.
And we just talked. We would just always talk. He was in Atlanta, and I was here in Orlando, long distance. Yeah, yeah, similar to you. Yeah,
Yeah.
long distance, but we didn't know each other as young when we were younger. It was just something that happened as we were older, and um, so we did things a little differently because when we got engaged, it was during the pandemic. The pandemic just happened, and we got married during the pandemic. And remember, our relationship was long distance. So
Mm.
a lot of getting to know one another wasn't the fleshy part, it was the understanding, getting to know each other, building that dynamic and understanding who we were. One of the things that he does like about me was the fact that I had a ministry, that I was doing things, boss chick, doing things, business and things like that. He liked it. What I liked about him is that he wasn't a pastor. That's what I didn't want. Nothing. I didn't want anything.
Wait, what? You didn't want a pastor?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I didn't want that. I just wanted a business guy who loved Jesus. That was it.
But you did want a business guy.
Yeah, I wanted someone who had the acumen for business and creativity and things like that. I don't know, because I'm always drawn to that kind of thing, and so that was the dynamic. Some of the challenges that we had after the fact was, okay, now the pandemic is finished,
Mm.
and here we are, and everybody's back together again, and it's like, oh, I didn't know that, and he's like, oh, I didn't know that, or I didn't know that. So those were some of the challenges that we face. But as far as submitting as a strong woman, I think it's Ephesians 5:21, is we submit to one another.
Mhm.
Submission to a spouse, it's not about erasure or deleting them, it's
Mhm.
about coming together and complementing one another. And I think the two strong people, 100% strong, coming together as two strong units just makes the union stronger. If you
Yeah.
can operate in that way, then I think that's
I
the way.
love that. I love that because you don't have to dim your light or who you are in order for you to be connected with somebody for the sake of being connected.
That's right.
And I think that if you're required to do that, then that's probably not the one that you want to be with anyway. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that can be you. My phone was blowing up. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not even lying. My phone was blown when people realized that I was at Majestic. My phone was blowing up. Hey, bro. Hey, coming through Orlando, bro. Like, can you, holla at your girl for me? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah,
Oh, that's what you mean. I was like, what do you mean blowing up for what?
no, no. My phone was blown up for you.
Oh, wow.
They was blowing my phone up. Yo, that's your pastor? I'm like, bruh, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? I posted one picture and they was like, hey man, hook me up. I'm like,
But
bruh.
they didn't come talk to me. That's the
Because I told him
thing.
not to.
People
There's
talk.
only one. There's only one that came and talked to you. He's gonna remain nameless. But
Right,
there's only one that came and talked. But
right.
the others, I was like, bro, you 33, bro. What?
But don't you think that even adds another question to the whole dynamic of a certain age and maybe a boss lady, that sometimes people that may be interested in you, they do not approach you because they either feel like you may be already dating, or they just feel like maybe they won't be able to fit the bill.
You were super intimidating.
But then when you
super
got to know me,
intimidating.
am I intimidating when
You're
you get to know
not.
me?
You're not.
Yeah,
But
I'm not.
you're not. But it's
Yeah.
like, okay, you go to a friend's house and you ring the doorbell, ding, dong, and you're like, nah, bro, I'm in the car. I mean, I left the gift at
That's
the
a
door.
good
I'm out.
analogy.
But then when you walk in, the dog is the most it could be a Rottweiler, it could be a a pit bull or
Yeah,
whatever, but the
it's sweet.
kindest,
Yeah,
sweetest. But because of the reputation of that particular species or breed,
yes,
you have you're a certain breed.
yeah.
And the reputation with that certain breed was nah, like she's out of my league. I can't. And to be honest, quite honest, you were
Mhm.
for most. I'm like one dude. I'm like, dude, literally, you are 34 years old. Come on, you're a child to her. Not. I mean, you just what do you got? What do you have in common? It's like, okay, well, I just graduated. All right, dude, just I'll call you. I'll call you later, man. But literally, so I think that you did have buffers that you didn't know of that were keeping people probably
Mhm. Yeah,
um, from even entering into that space, which was a
yeah.
great thing.
It is, and I did honestly, and I did. That goes back to being a single female pastor. There are always buffers. There are people that are very protective. But I tell you,
Yeah.
when I started getting around that 10th year, even the guys at the church would be like, "All right, it's time. All right, we not gonna we're gonna turn this way. It's time for you to." And so I think it was the right timing for me, honestly. And I think that when you get to a certain age, you have to let God redefine your type. I know a lot of women that they have
Woo!
this type and they just stick to it. Okay,
Woo!
that's the type you had since you were 25 years old.
Mm.
It's time to let God redefine who you want, who you should be with. And I think we miss so many. I mean, women always talk about, oh my gosh, there's just nobody out here. And it's like, well, what you looking for? It's not necessarily always the charisma. It's not always that
Mm.
guy. The older you get, you have to see what's important for you for the rest of your life. And I think
Oh,
a lot of people are missing in it. And I tell people, you can have chemistry, and that's a spark, right? That's the spark. Oh, I love the chemistry. But character is more of the flame. And you don't want a spark, you want a flame, something that
you better
just
preach
keeps
on today.
burning, right? I'm telling the truth, aren't I?
You
That's
are telling the truth.
because once that spark is gone, everything's gone. But when someone has that character and even a little bit of charisma with that, fine. But as long as that character is there, it's kindness, it's sweetness, it's no secrecy. Um, even there are people that have personality disorders, and you
Hmm.
find out later. But you do know red flags happen when you're getting
Yes.
to know someone, and those personality disorders are there. And there are times when you can even still get married to a person, but you recognize what's there, and you have to identify that and keep it moving, whether they are narcissistic, whether they have attention deficit disorder, whether they have these insecure moments or whatever. You can work around that through the grace of the Holy Spirit if both are willing to do it.
Yeah.
But if you can't, move on to the next direction, because anything that happens before you get married, it's magnified after you get married. He might
Right.
drool a little bit on the side, and you're like, "Oh, that's so cute." Before you get married, you wipe it off. But after you get married, now it's like a waterfall.
The whole pillow. What in the world happened?
Exactly, and it's almost like you can't take it. So I tell ladies all the time, just be very sure, because there are moments that their love is not just marriage. Joy
Mm.
is not just marriage. That's
Woo.
only one part of it. There's so much more that's loving joy. Sometimes it's meant for you to be a friend with someone. You can have a friendship that is very satisfying and fulfilling with a person. It does not always have to end in marriage.
Right. Are y'all together? No, that's the homie.
Yeah.
And that's
Right.
cool. And
Right.
and that's necessary for this season.
Exactly.
Oh, this is that what you're saying is so rich. And I really, really appreciate you for your honesty, your vulnerability, because I mean, it obviously it wasn't easy, but I would dare say that it was worth it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you are an example to a lot of other both women and men of what waiting well looks like, what grace in the middle of turmoil looks like. I mean, literally, if when we fly on planes all the time, when turbulence happens, what do? Unbook, but I'm out of here. That's
Yeah, yeah,
no, you tighten your seatbelt. You don't unbuckle it and run up and down. Get up. You don't do that. So you are a living example of what it looks like to wait well. Like I said, to continue to serve God's people with a smile on your face, with love in your heart, holding people with open hands to say, listen, you're God's first. You're God's first, and you're his his prerogative and his responsibility. So whatever he decides to do with you, it's his business. I'm here to love you and to be, it's just that
yeah.
is such a beautiful quality to have. And I hope this conversation encourages people to, as they say, check on your strong friends, because
Mhm.
there are times when it looks like everything is together, or we would not expect, or you know we wouldn't expect that you're dealing with anything, because you float and you glide when you walk into the building. It's like no, actually, the reason why it looks like I'm floating is because I have wheels on this thing, that because my knees, meniscus, what is like I'm hurting here,
Mhm.
so to be sensitive to that too. This conversation to me is life, and I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you.
I
Thank you.
really, really do. And I'm excited about the 10-year anniversary, where I get to,
Amen.
and
Amen.
maybe, just maybe, by the way, I think I sent you the text. El DeBarge did he did retweet, what is it called? He
What
reposted something.
he reposted it?
He reposted something that
Did
I
you
that I
mention my
that I posted.
name? Did you mention my name at all?
Well, they're coming to town. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I think they are coming to town. But
That
anyway,
means no, you didn't.
I didn't. You're right. You've always been a straight shooter. That means no. You didn't answer the question. That means
That
no.
means no.
They are coming to town, but you did not mention my name. I can't. I
Mhm.
mean, So because I believe you will meet him one day. I
Mhm.
just hope that you're cool about it.
Oh, you know, I'm gonna play cool.
You,
I'm gonna play cool. I definitely would do that. And plus, and everyone knows I'm joking, because
of
I am
course,
married, and
for
Robert was
those of you,
beside me. So
right? He'd be right there. This is my
there'd be
husband.
no hanky panky there.
Not at all.
Not at
Just so
all.
we clear, those of you
Right.
troublemakers, not just kidding.
That's right.
Listen, I love you and I bless you, and I thank you so much for the honor of serving you. Thank you for the honor of being connected to you, because my life honestly is better because you're in it, and I'm grateful to you for all the things that you represent, not just to me, but to all the people, like your children, your spiritual seed, the people that are standing and sitting next to you, across from you, parallel to you, and the organizations that you're a part of. You are an incredible lady, and I'm
I,
just honored to be connected to you.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Hopefully get to do this again.
What'd you say?
Hopefully we get to do this again.
Oh yes, I did. I mean, it's lots. Yeah, I almost forgot what we were doing. It was just like having a conversation. So I appreciate that.
That's
Thank
the
you.
good stuff. That's
Yeah.
the good stuff right there. Mm.